Hey everyone, I'm Moran, and I'm a nurse at Central Hospital. I'm sitting at this fancy dinner table, surrounded by my husband Jack's family. They're all decked out in designer clothes, sipping expensive wine, while I'm just trying not to spill anything on my Target dress. I've been married to Jack for 3 years now, and let me tell you, it's been a wild ride. Pamela, darling, tell everyone your exciting news. Chirps Elizabeth, my mother-in-law, from across the table. Pamela, Jack's sister, practically glows as she announces, "Gregory and I have decided to start trying for a baby." The table erupts in cheers and congratulations. I force a smile, but my stomach twists into knots. Jack and I have been talking about having kids too, but we haven't told anyone yet. "Oh, how wonderful," Elizabeth gushes. "I can't wait to have a precious little grandchild. It'll be so perfect, keeping our family line pure and strong." I nearly choke on my water. Did she really just say that? I glance at Jack, but he's busy patting Gregory on the back. I catch Richard, my father-in-law, giving Elizabeth a pointed look. "So, Moran," Pamela turns to me, her smile tight. "Any plans for you and Jack to start a family?" Before I can respond, Elizabeth cuts in. "Oh, I'm sure they're not ready yet, right, Moran? You're both so busy with work and all." I open my mouth to speak, but Jack jumps in. "Mom's right. We're in no rush." It feels like a punch to the gut. We literally just talked about trying for a baby last night. What's going on? The conversation moves on, but I'm stuck in my own head, replaying Elizabeth's comment about keeping the family line pure. It's not the first time I've heard something like that, but it never gets easier. After dinner, I pull Jack aside in the hallway. "What was that about? I thought we agreed we were ready." He runs a hand through his hair, avoiding my eyes. I know. Can we talk about this later? Now's not the time." I watch him walk back to his family, laughing at something Richard said. I've never felt more alone in a room full of people. On the drive home, the silence between us is deafening. I can't shake the feeling that something's off. The way they all looked at each other when Pamela made her announcement, the weird comments about purity. It's like they're speaking in code, and I'm not allowed to know the meaning. As we pull into our driveway, Jack finally breaks the silence. "Look, Moran, maybe we should hold off on the baby thing for a while. Let Pamela have her moment, you know." I feel like I've been slapped. Her moment? Jack, this isn't a competition. We're talking about our family, our future. He sighs, looking frustrated. "Can we just wait? Please?" I couldn't believe it when I saw those 2 pink lines on the pregnancy test a few weeks later. My heart raced as I waited for Jack to come home. When he walked through the door, I practically jumped into his arms. "Well, what's got you so excited?" He laughed. "Jack, I think I'm pregnant." His face lit up, but then I saw something else. Worry, maybe even fear. He hugged me tight and whispered, "That's amazing, babe. But let's keep it quiet for now, okay? Just until we're sure." I agreed, but something felt off. Still, I pushed the feeling aside, focusing on the joy of possibly becoming a mom. A few days later, we had another family dinner at Richard and Elizabeth's place. As I was heading to the bathroom, I overheard voices coming from Richard's study. The door was slightly ajar, and I couldn't help but listen. "Jack, you need to put a stop to this." Richard's voice was low but firm. "What are you talking about, Dad?" "This pregnancy nonsense with Moran. You can't let it happen." My blood ran cold. Elizabeth's voice chimed in, dripping with disdain. "Think about the family, Jack, our reputation. We can't have our bloodline tainted." "If she insists on having children," Richard continued, "you might need to consider ending the marriage." I waited for Jack to defend me, to stand up to them. His response shattered my heart. "I understand. I'll talk to her." I stumbled back to the dining room, my mind reeling. When Jack returned, I cornered him in a hushed whisper. "How could you agree with them?" He looked startled. "You heard that? Moran, it's not what you think. I was just trying to keep the peace." Keep the peace? By throwing away our dreams? Our family? Before Jack could respond, Pamela sauntered over, her expression smug. "What's this I hear about you two trying for a baby?" I froze, unsure how she knew. Jack stammered, "We're not, I mean." Pamela's face twisted in disgust. "You can't be serious. A mixed-race child in this family? It would be a scandal." The room fell deathly silent. All eyes were on us. Elizabeth stepped forward, her voice sugary but cutting. "Moran, dear, surely you understand our concerns. This isn't the right time for you to have children. Perhaps it's best if you reconsider your priorities." I looked at Jack, silently begging him to stand up for me, for us. But he just stood there, silent, conflicted. I couldn't take it anymore. Grabbing my purse, I rushed out, ignoring Jack's calls behind me. I drove straight to the hospital, tears blurring my vision. Dr. Aisha Roman, my colleague and friend, found me sobbing in the break room. She sat beside me, placing a comforting hand on my shoulder. "Moran, what happened?" Through sobs, I told her everything about the pregnancy, the conversation I'd overheard, Pamela's vile comment. Aisha listened, her face shifting from shock to anger. "That's absolutely unacceptable," she said firmly. "Moran, you can't let them treat you this way. You have every right to start a family with your husband." "But Jack, he didn't even defend me," I whispered, my voice trembling. Aisha squeezed my hand. "Then it's time you defended yourself. Stand up to them, Moran. Don't let them bully you out of your dreams." Her words ignited something inside me. I wiped away my tears. "You're right, I've spent too long trying to fit into their world. It's time I showed them who I really am." As I left the hospital that night, determination surged through me, though fear still lurked in the corners of my mind. I knew the battle ahead would be tough, but I was ready to fight for my future, even if that meant fighting against the family I had married into. Over the following weeks, I began paying closer attention to Jack's behavior. Late-night phone calls, hushed conversations that ended as soon as I entered the room. Something was definitely up. One evening, I overheard him in his study. "Yes, Dad, I understand the terms of the trust fund." "No, I haven't told her yet." I know. Time is running out." My heart pounded. Trust fund? What was he talking about? The next day at the hospital, I confided in Michael, a colleague with access to administrative records. He offered to help me discreetly dig into whatever Jack was hiding. What we uncovered made me feel sick. Jack's family had set up a massive trust fund for him, one he could only access if he divorced me and married someone they approved of. They planned to disinherit him if we had a child together. "I can't believe this," I whispered, staring at the documents Michael had pulled up. "And there's more," Michael added grimly. He showed me records from Richard's real estate company revealing they'd been systematically denying rentals and sales to people of color for years. My heart sank. How deep did this go? But the surprises weren't over. A few days later, while working in the fertility clinic, I spotted a familiar face, Pamela. She was sneaking out of a consultation room, looking nervous. Curiosity got the better of me, and I checked the records. I was stunned. Pamela had been undergoing IVF treatments for months. She was struggling with fertility issues, but keeping it a secret from everyone. That night, I confronted Jack. "I know about the trust fund." His face went pale. "Moran, I can explain." "Explain what?" "How you've been lying to me. How your family is trying to bribe you into leaving me." "It's not like that," he said, his voice shaky. "I was trying to figure out a way to fix this." I cut him off. "And Pamela's fertility issues? Did you know about those too?" Jack looked genuinely surprised. "What? No, I had no idea." I sank onto the couch, suddenly exhausted. "Jack, what are we doing? This whole situation is so messed up." He sat beside me, reaching for my hand. Despite everything, I let him take it. "I'm so sorry, Moran. I've been a coward. I thought I could handle this on my own, protect you from it all. But I've only made things worse." I looked into his eyes, searching for the man I fell in love with. "We're supposed to be partners, Jack. You should have told me." He nodded, tears filling his eyes. "You're right. No more secrets. I'll tell you everything." As Jack started talking, I felt a mix of anger, betrayal, and a small glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, we could find a way through this mess together. I spent days agonizing over what to do with everything I had uncovered. Finally, I decided it was time to take action. I called Dr. Roman and Michael, asking them to meet me at a coffee shop far from the hospital. "I have a plan," I told them, "but I'll need your help." We spent hours going over the details. Michael helped me compile a dossier on Richard's discriminatory housing practices, while Dr. Raymond offered to accompany me to the upcoming charity gala as moral support. The night before the gala, I anonymously tipped off Samantha Reeves, a respected investigative journalist, about Richard's company. My hands shook as I hit send on the email. As we moved through the crowded ballroom at the gala, I spotted Dr. Reman and Michael. They gave me subtle nods. Everything was in place. Suddenly, a hush fell over the room. People were huddled around their phones, whispering urgently. I caught snippets of conversation. Richard's company, discrimination, investigation. Richard rushed past us, his face ashen. Pamela grabbed his arm, looking panicked. "Daddy, what's going on?" That's when I stepped forward, my voice carrying across the now silent room. "I think it's time we all heard the truth, don't you?" All eyes turned to me as I took a deep breath and continued. The truth about the discriminatory practices in Richard's company. The truth about the trust fund set up to bribe Jack into leaving me. The truth about this family's racist attitudes and schemes. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the crowd. Elizabeth stepped forward, her face livid. "How dare you, you ungrateful." But I cut her off. "No, Elizabeth. I'm done being silent. I'm done trying to fit into a family that sees me as less than human because of the color of my skin." I turned to Jack, my heart pounding. "It's time to choose, Jack, your racist family or our future together." The room held its breath as Jack looked from me to his family, conflict clear on his face. Then, slowly, he moved to stand beside me. "I choose Moran," he said firmly. "I'm done with the lies, the manipulation, the bigotry. I love my wife, and I'm ashamed it took me this long to stand up for her." Pamela, who had been uncharacteristically quiet, suddenly burst into tears. "This is all your fault," she screamed at me. "If you hadn't come along, everything would be perfect. I'd be pregnant by now and—" She clapped her hand over her mouth, realizing what she'd said. The room erupted in chaos. In the days that followed, Richard's company faced a full investigation. Former friends and business associates distanced themselves from the family, their true nature now exposed. Jack and I decided to renew our vows, this time in a ceremony that truly represented us. As I stood there, surrounded by our diverse group of friends and colleagues, my hand resting on my slightly swollen belly, I felt a sense of peace. That's the end of my story. Now, I want to ask you, if you were in Jack's position, torn between racist family expectations and love, what would you do? How far would you go to stand up against injustice? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Your support means everything.